Well, hi there. Welcome to Klein Farm Channel. Today I'm going to be making something up out of my own creation. It's going to be like a cabbage chicken parmesan type thing. And I have it set in my head how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take you along and see how it goes. Keep watching. Got a big head of cabbage here. Got a whole onion, whole bell pepper. Got 4 chicken drumsticks. I'm going to warm up the chicken in the air fryer, cook it almost completely in the air fryer, then put it into the crock pot. Just like with that couple things I made last week, I made them completely on the stove, then I transferred them into the crock pot to finish them off. That's what I'm going to do with this. Now the chicken, it fits perfectly to have 6 of them in this air fryer. I got 4 here. I'm not going to dig more out of the freezer. 4 would be good. I just made some French fries and chicken nuggets in there. It's a little dirty. That's alright. More grease, more flavor. I promise you, this is a healthy meal though. A little bit of grease ain't going to hurt nothing. It's healthy to have a little bit of fat and grease. Now with this air fryer here, it takes me about 30 minutes to cook thoroughly. That's completely done. 6 raw chicken leg drumsticks, and I cook them 15 minutes on one side, flip them over, cook them 15 minutes again, and they are perfect. So there you go. Now to add more, you just tighten them up a little bit. It doesn't matter if they're touching or not. If you put it in there 30 minutes, they're going to be done. There you go. I had it on preheat. Now I'm going to start cutting up the cabbage and onion and pepper. This old antique knife here that was my great-grandfather's. Now I don't have a cutting board. I'm going to make one. I have some wood outside I'm going to make a cutting board with. But until that time I'm just going to use a plate. And it's very hard on your knife, especially old knives, to cut on like porcelain plates or something. But it's what I got to use at the moment, so that's what I'm using. But I don't advise it. And let's take all these bright green leaves off the outside. If you have any chickens or rabbits or any kind of outside animal, feed them to them. They love them. So it looks about like that. This little bit right here, that'd be alright. It's edible. Just gonna chop it up in little pieces, put it here in the pot. I'm going to cook it all down before I put it in the crock pot. And the first thing you do, what I do, I cut it straight in half to get it in more manageable size. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. No. Yeah, I can't do this with one hand. If I use my meat cleaver I could, but I don't want to do that. If I had a cutting board, oh, I would absolutely use the meat cleaver. But my meat cleaver would break this plate so quick. Absolutely not. When I have a cutting board, I'll use it. But what I like to do here is get half of it on the plate and just chop it up and bring the other half back over. Just cut it in slices like that and keep going. Just do it all like that. Then turn it sideways and cut it again. Then when you have it all chopped up, just put it all into the pot here. These big hunks here, the real meaty ones, I love them. It almost tastes like you're biting into meat, like the texture of meat. Almost tastes like kind of like corn on the cob or like a red beet or something similar to that in flavor. You want to cut this piece here off, back in as far as you can. And the rest of that, that's good there. I mean, you can cut it out if you want, but I like it. Yeah, I love Texas Pete. It's a North Carolina staple. Now this side is bigger, so I chopped it in half again. Here's one of the harder pieces down by where the core was, but I like it. It's really good. It's one of my favorite parts of the cabbage. Well, the chicken's done on its first half. That's after 15 minutes in the air fryer. A pair of tongs work best, but if you have to use a fork, use a fork. I do not recommend you using your fingers because it's very, very hot. Just flip them completely upside down. See, there's a little bit of blood in them right now. But once you put them through 15 more minutes, it'll be completely done. See, right there is where the core, right there, where the stem was. Get that in the pot. The last piece. This has a piece of the stem there on it too. Now there's no particular specific way to cut this. Just chop it up as best you can. Manageable pieces. It doesn't really matter how you cut it, as long as you cut it up in smaller pieces. But them bigger hunks of the stem there, you want to cut them into smaller pieces as small as you can, because they are a lot thicker. So you want them smaller. Turn me on again, back to the good old days. Only hell my mama ever raised. Good old days. I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. I turned out to be the only hell my mama ever raised. So here it is, a whole head of cabbage here in a pot, except for like the outside leaves and stuff. Now you want to get a couple of spoons of butter, spoonfuls of butter, put it in with the cabbage on the stove. Now you want to put it on medium, like in between medium and 6. And put, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these little spoonfuls of butter in. Then pretty much just let it cook and keep stirring it every few minutes. Don't put any water in it. Just put the cabbage and a little bit of butter, and it'll fry up all on its own, because cabbage is mostly water, so just you heating it up will make all the water come out anyway. Now let's try this pepper. Might be a little overkill for the pepper. There's all the seeds. Throw all the seeds down into the garbage bag. The seeds aren't hot in regular bell pepper, but you can leave a few in there if you want. But you don't want them all in there. Got the pepper all diced up. Put it in another pot. I just love doing dishes. You get a spoon to start stirring the cabbage here. You gotta keep stirring it or it'll burn on the bottom. And if you have so much in there that it's kind of overflowing over the top, turn the heat down a little bit. I just turned it down to 4 and keep stirring. The chicken just beeped. That looks pretty good. Then keep it stirred up nice and good. You don't gotta stir it constantly, but every couple minutes come back and stir it some. Flip it all up off the bottom. Move it all around there. Now let's do the onion. Get all the bad stuff off the outside of it. Cut the 2 ends off and you can peel off this a lot easier. Then it ought to peel right off. With 2 hands. It'll be all nice and shiny like that then. And just do the same thing. Just cut it in half, chop it up in little pieces. Keep stirring the cabbage. Then when your plate's starting to get full, go ahead and dump it into the pot. And I'm thinking I'm only going to use 3/4 of the onion, because I have 3/4 cut up already in here. And it really outweighs the pepper there. And that's plenty of onion, so I'm not going to cut up the rest of the onion. I'm going to save it. We got to stir the cabbage again. So here's all the garbage from the cabbage and pepper and onion. If you have outside animals, go feed it to them. Don't feed them the sticker on it, but feed them all the good stuff. They'll like it. Or throw it in your garden for compost. Don't just throw it in the garbage. Now I'm going to unhook the air fryer and hook up the slow cooker. I have Alexa plugged in there. I'm not going to unplug her. Alexa, say hi.
Hello.
I didn't say Waylon say hi. I said Alexa say hi. I'm going to put the chicken right into there. Get your good old Piggly Wiggly spaghetti sauce. Turn this on to warm for now. See if I can do it in one hand. Oh, I did it. Just pour over all that. Get a little bit of water. Lid back on and tighten it. Let's put the lid on here for now. Don't let the cabbage burn. You gotta keep stirring it. Then when it cooks down low enough, you can put the lid over top. Put the lid over top of it. And put the peppers and onions back here and put them on about medium heat. Stir up the peppers and onions there. Add a little salt and pepper to it. I always like putting all my seasonings in with the salt and with the peppers and onions. Let's put some oregano in there. Stir up the cabbage. See how the color changing? It's getting like a dark yellow color. Bright white to dark yellow is what I like it the best. I don't like it when it's brown, fried real hard. Now this is pretty similar to a video I did last week or the week before, but I never posted it. So I did pretty much the exact same thing I'm doing now, but I put elbow macaroni noodles in it, and it was delicious. It was so good, but I'm not going to put elbow noodles in it today. I'm just going to have cabbage in it and try it like that. But it was really, really good with the noodles in it, but I'm trying to do it healthy as I could for my diet, and noodles are not good for your diet. Well, I'd say the cabbage and the peppers and onions are pretty close to being ready to put in the crock pot. Looks pretty done to me. Let's get it all stirred up good there. I'm going to get ready and dump this in there. I'm going to take the chicken out and put it back in on top. That way it's not down buried at the bottom, and I can stir it up without having to rip that all apart. There you go, I didn't spill any of it. Got it all out. Now the peppers and onions. Stir it all up good, get the sauce all over it. I might have to add a little bit more sauce in there. Oh, I got a better idea. I think I'm going to put a can of tomatoes in there. I'll add more vegetables and more tomato sauce too. And stir that all up real good. And put the chicken back in on top. Looking good. Now I gotta get some Parmesan and put over top of it. Yesterday when I was at the store, I asked the guy where the Parmesan cheese was at. He had no idea what I was talking about. He never heard of Parmesan cheese before. And I walked with him because he's like, well, it'd probably be over here in this aisle, because I told him it wouldn't be in the dairy section. It would be like probably on the Italian food aisle on the dry shelf. He's like, cheese ain't on that. I'm like, oh yeah, it is. So we walked over there, and I said, right there it is. And he's like, oh, that's Parmesan. I said, no, it's Parmesan. He said, no, it's Parmesan. That's how we always say it. Like, I have never heard anybody call it Parmesan cheese before. There, I coated it pretty good. And I put it on the low, from warm to low. I'm going to put the lid back on and let it cook for a little while until it's time to eat. Alright. It's hard to do this with my left hand. I'm going to switch. I'm going to make some red beets with it too. put on the side. Well, there you go. Chicken parmesan with cabbage, fried cabbage instead of noodles. Got some pickled red beets there on the side. Really good. I love cabbage and red beets. That's a very good combination. Well, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and have a great day.